Amongst the annual Heart of the Mists Totally Isn't on Fire event that we traditionally enjoy together around this time of the year, since ArenaNet switched to annual expansion release schedule, it is easy to notice that balance in GW2's competitive scene is just a story to scare children. Most of the attention currently paid is to the fact that Conduit's current state and design strongly suggests that ArenaNet hired Satan some time ago and tasked his malevolence to craft a Revenant spec. But I'm not going to budge on that to an unnecessary degree, because I want to talk about slightly different observation of mine. Revenant has a funny little thing called Call to Anguish, which is a 600 range leap that pulls enemies from an area around your landing location in 360 unit radius. And no, I'm not going to explain how it's a part of one of the most bullshit combos currently on the market, nor that it can be used twice in rapid succession because it has base cooldown of 3 seconds and Cosmic Wisdom basically removes its energy cost, nor that it has a follow-up attack which evades. I'm saving that rant for a better occasion, like tomorrow. Today I want to speak about something good Arena did for once, like adding massive orange ground indicator to Warrior's staff pool so it's clearly and properly telegraphed where and when does the area that drags you into Narnia for Christmas episode of MMA will appear. You know, warrior mains are those whiners who always complain that their class is too weak, and apparently they complained about staff pool being too weak so much that Arena added one of literal 2 grand indicators showing off pool area hitbox on the ground in the entire game to that specific skill. Second being on Necromancer's Greatsword 5. Maybe because that thing can actually pull people off of walls in World v World, or maybe because the people actually complaining about telegraphing CC are the ones who have 1200 range instant ports to port their CC with on last frame of animation from behind vision obscuring cover. But I'm not here today to dispense salt. I'm just an asshole and my personality is speaking true, for which I sincerely apologize. What I'm here really for is to make my best impression of Doritos commercial and state that your life needs more orange triangles. Unfortunately, this joke falls apart faster than my ego because pretty much every skill left that warrants a ground indicator is a circular AoE. Because only triangle pull left in the game that I know of is Guardian's Axe 2, and Guardian's Axe is so shit it makes Blue Warrior joke even more compelling. Moving onward, Guild Wars 2 had for a while and still has a big ugly readability problem. In an average teamfight, there's so much particle effects cluttering your screen that you may have the impression of staring down the barrel of a particle cannon. It might then seem inappropriate to suggest adding more visual garbage to existing visual garbage, but unlike majority of visual garbage currently present in the game, ground indicators are actually meant to inform you what's about to happen, not the opposite. Telegraphing skills, especially CC, is very important for so-called health of competitive games. And yes, I understand that expecting Guild Wars 2's PvP to be healthy is like expecting a cancer patient to win a weightlifting championship, but hey, a man can dream. The thing is, we have a lot of very important to avoid skills where only tell a player has is some form of arm movement the opponent's character makes. Sure, there are easy to recognize CC animations, which likely don't need more telegraph, but for every prime light beam, there's 7 different supply crates. Moreover, let's say you're fighting, for example, Hammer Berserker. I know, it's less likely to happen than you getting head from a Bigfoot, but that's not the point. Would you be able to tell at a glance a Sundery Clip animation from Rupturing Smash animation? Sure, it might not be a problem for you in 1v1, but what if you're focusing on somebody else and suddenly a crackhead with a stick is flying at you from behind? Can you, in a time frame you were given, accurately determine whether you have to dodge or not? Better yet, there are classes in this game with 1200 range CC skills that don't even have to announce the player's bloody presence before ruining your what you till this point assumed was a 1v1. For example, Revenant's Spear Pool can be cast from outside of your screen, and so can Elementalist's Air Focus 5, so you aren't even guaranteed to see the gentle twirling motion signaling that you're about to be dead from full if you don't act fast. Moreover, even if the caster is within your field of view, you'll quickly realize that reading their character body animations isn't especially easy, because they're about facing back and forward like they're missing their appointment in a psychiatric ward. And on top of that, they either have every obnoxious, obscuring eye-fuck cosmetic equipped at once, or have fell into a bucket of Shadow Abyss dye to signify that they'll never grow out of being mentally 12, or both. And on top of that, they have 3 different auras applied at once and are in stealth. Yes, you are correct, most often all of those do not happen at once, but you may realize why somebody could potentially miss the peeking their nose animation of facing away Asura that signifies the incoming turbo cancer. This entire bonanza is exactly why I want to shine the spotlight at the fact that we already have 3 different types of AoE range indicators in GW2's PvP. The ones on Warrior and Necro respective weapon pools, the one on Warrior Spear 5, and the one on Elementalist's Dagger 5. And I think this should be repurposed to be a warning signs of every CC skill in the game. AoE pulls, stuns, whatever, like Solstice's Prelude Lash, aforementioned Call to Anguish, F-Shaker, Supply Crate should display area indicator so that enemies don't have to fucking eyeball and guess where is the actual hitbox of the bloody skill, like Elementalist's Dagger 5 displays. And single target crowd control skills, like Gale, which is the aforementioned Air Focus 5, Engineer's Toolkit 5, Magnet, Scorpion Wire, Boost Charge should warn the initial target of the skill like Warrior Spear 4 does. Comically speaking, Warrior Spear 4, now after the damage nerfs, doesn't really need that ground indicator, especially considering skills like Ranger's Warhorn 5 don't have any fucking ground indicator. And quite frankly, if we make all CC skills have those types of indicators, we should remove that one from Spear 4 so that people don't confuse it for CC and don't, for example, ban shagging stability for no reason. But putting that aside, we even have donut-shaped indicators in the game, which could be used for things like Guardian Hammer 5. But that reminds me of one tiny fact that some classes can port CC skills, with example Judge's Intervention, and if we made CC telegraphs in Guild Wars 2 actually fair, people would finally realize how broken of an advantage porting CCs is. Also, a lot of cancerous bullshit, like throwing CC out of invisibility, might become less of a cheese strat because finally an average player will not need to install cheat engine or develop Jedi foresight to be politely informed that he's about to have the skill issue everyone on forums keeps yapping about. The only CC that wouldn't instantly become fairer and more fun to deal with if we put ground indicators on every CC in the game are the instacast bullshit. Because, sorry to break it down to you, there's no way to make instant ranged crowd control not bullshit. Especially if that instacast is also stripping ages and stability and teleporting Jack the Ripper's cringe-ass little brother on top of you, which is how thieves in this game got the reputation they have. Second potential issue are the melee attacks with CC, look Necromancer's Spear 3, Warrior's Dagger 3, and couple others that are specifically meant as a quick interrupt. Or projectiles like Tremor, not to mention few particular builds who spam melee CCs a lot. Putting a ground indicator on melee CC wouldn't mean a lot since it can be just cast without targeting the enemy and is, well, bloody melee, so the best potential option is just putting a half circle indicator in front of the caster. But who does that benefit though? It benefits normal people. It makes the game less bullshit and more understandable to people who didn't put fartillions of hours into memorizing ways to read animations of animationless CC on invisible shitfucks they can only see through their third inner eye of Horus or whatever Warhammer bullshit. And yes, I know that normal people don't play PvP, but you need to know that normalcy like mayonnaise is a spectrum, and normal people don't play this godforsaken mode specifically because, drumroll please, it's an unreadable, confusing, unlearnable mess on top of being designed and balanced like a Sacco shade. Maybe if we for a brief moment stopped trying to kill PvP and dedicated some effort into fixing the design depth, instead of designing a mode that makes everything bad about game even worse, we would see some positive outcome for once, and had enough players chiming in so that matchmaking can stop shitting the bed and putting platinum and silver players in the same lobbies. Anyway, a big sign of gratitude to all the generous supporters, continuously considering my dubious quality content worth their money. You're all truly welcome. Crabface out.